Hi YouTube, welcome to those who are new, welcome back to those who are returning. If you don't know, my name is Gianna and I'm just making this video today to show you how you can make your character profiles. And it's also just great to just see your character with your own eyes, not just with your mind's eye. So I just wanted to show you guys how I do it, and I use Canva. You guys could use other programs. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to go through different programs, different ways that you can get your characters to come to life. But right now I'm using Canva, and I'll just show you guys right now with my screen. Alright, so you guys see my screen right now, and I have already placed in the prompt for the description of my character and the time frame it is in. And how I put the description is just describing how she looks like. I can't forget the coily hair, the brown eyes. I also put paint style so that the AI knows that it knows what kind of style I want it in. And I also put historical so that it gets the vibe of where it's at. And let's just see what happens with it. I'm also going to press landscape so it will fill the whole screen. So right here I already see great options of the character that I am looking for. So a little backstory on this character. Her name is Deborah in the story. And well, first of all, the title of the book is called Deborah and the Duke's Obsession. And how her story starts is that she is a young girl that has been traded into a whorehouse. And I don't want to give too much away, but upon her journey in there, she conspires with two other girls on how to escape the whorehouse because of what's going on in there. But unfortunately they get caught, and all three of them end up getting beaten very badly, almost to the point of death. But you know, this picture is a bit too polished for me. So because at first when we first see her, she's really roughed up, she's really beaten up. Let's see if we could get another image of Deborah. And what I love about the Canva AI is that there are a lot of times, or maybe sometimes, where the images are pretty similar to each other. So it's like you can carry on as if it's the same character almost. As you can see, these two kind of look similar together, but it's different position, different facial expression, and that's what I really love about this. So yeah, I really recommend Canva when you want to use it to create your characters and the images and how they look like, because they come out really nice. You get some really great images with Canva. And then you could also move this to the side. You can go to text, and this is how I make my character profile. I just write her name at the top. You can even slide it more to the side, and you can cut it up here. And of course you could pretty it up a bit, like changing the font to cursive and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just showing you a simple version of how you can do it. And you would just go to subheading, and then you just list off all of her traits. And one of her main traits is that she is a prodigy in violin playing. So Deborah, she learned to play the violin in that environment, and she was a prodigy. And even the owner of the whorehouse, she gave her that compliment of her being an amazing violin player. So I would just type in prodigy in violin playing. Let me just make this a bit smaller. Let me also put bullet points too. The next trait is that she is shy and not very confident, which is understandable considering the environment that she was in. And it's also great to mark their temperament so that we can remember exactly their temperament, so we know how to make them respond in certain situations. Her temperament is pretty reserved, and she does fear rejection and being hurt again because of what she went through, because her parents sold her. She's been sold by different people as well. She has forgotten what her parents have named her, so the people who have bought her in the past, they called her Jezebel. And if you guys know biblical facts, Jezebel was an evil queen. She was a seductress, a witch. So being called Jezebel is not exactly endearing. And it's really important to keep your characters as realistic as possible, guys. You don't want them to be the perfect character, because then that's very boring, and there's no reason for me or anyone to read a book of someone who's perfect, because that's not relatable. That won't change lives, guys. You could also list down some miscellaneous stuff as well. Some of them is that she loves animals. She loves stories that her adoptive father Daniel reads to her, and she is someone who avoids conflict. And then we can go to elements and then go to shapes, or to make it better, you can go to page breakers, and then we can get like a pretty one. I can do this, make it black. And then you could write here like the goal of the character, the goal of like where the story is leading. Because if you have a story that's not leading anywhere, then that's not a story. That's just a waste of energy and time. So her goal is to be a professional violin player, but that's where the sabotage and the resistance come to play, because there's a point in the story where the Duke becomes infatuated with her after she grows up. Because he can't have her, his goal is to destroy her so that he can make her his. But then there's also a wealthy doctor's son who's also smitten with her. And her heart is very closed from the experiences she went through. But the doctor's son, his name is Jonah, he ends up befriending her and just gaining her trust and eventually wanting to marry her. But then when the Duke sees their closeness and their relationship, he tries ways to sabotage it, and also to sabotage her dreams of being a violin player. But her goal ultimately is to be a violin player. She doesn't care for romance, yet has two pursuers who will stop at nothing to have her. And you also need to write the resistance, and the resistance is the Duke. His name is Marcus, and also the family of the doctor's son, specifically his mother. It's just very imperative that you can create troublesome issues for the character, so that it can stay interesting, but also have realistic and ways that make sense of how she or your character will overcome those resistances. And we as writers, we just should try to not be so afraid of creating problems for our character, because I understand we feel so much for them, we love them, but if you want to make a story interesting, you have to create a problem. You have to create a circumstance that will make people interested. So yeah, we have to risk that. And so yeah, there's also other ways we can make this, like with background and whatnot. If you guys want more examples on how to make character profiles, like with backgrounds and everything, let me know in the comments. I would love to do it. Let me know if this helped you at all, because I really would like to hear your feedback. If you guys watched but you don't really feel like commenting, I would just appreciate if you would just put a heart in the comments. That's fine, and I'll give you a heart back. And also just look in my description, my video description, for any information that you may find interesting. And also, guys, I have published a book on Amazon, and it's called Agape Love Workbook for Women. And it's just a workbook on learning how to receive God's love. And I'll just put that link in the description as well, because in this time we're living in, we could go through bad situations, circumstances. We grew up with childhood trauma, and it has really affected our ability to receive His love. But with my workbook that I've written, I really talk deeply on how to do that, on how God loves you, and His love for you is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And He just wants to be your Father. He just wants to be close in your life. And I'll just leave that in the description again, so you guys can check it out and maybe buy. Let me know if you guys end up buying. I'll really love to hear that. And I just hope you guys have a great day, and bye.